Actors, welcome to On Screen with KC and Donna-Marie. Go ahead, grab a cuppa, and get ready to work because this isn't a show, it's a class. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, go ahead and do that now. And if you already have, you're our fave. Today's episode is all about questions. We'll answer any questions you have, but we're also going to help you ask the questions that will transform your career. So you'll learn, number one, how to ask questions that actually move your career forward. Number two, how to time your questions strategically. And number three, the one question you should never, ever, ever ask your agent. Like, seriously, do not. And at the end, we're going to share one of our most powerful actor tools. So it's a secret storytelling format that helped our client, Carlos Diaz, book the lead in Conclave.
There are questions that are simple curiosity that if you focus on them, they're actually going to hold you back. The question you need to ask depends on where you are in your career. The very first question you need to ask, what is my ultimate goal as an actor? You're going to plan backwards from your major goal. So some questions you can ask are, how do I get an agent? What classes do I need to take? What kind of headshots do I need? That's for beginner actors, right? But for more advanced actors, you're not going to ask those questions. It would be foolish. So you might want to ask, how do I go from actor to principal roles? Or why am I getting callbacks but not booking? Or how do I position myself better so that I can start getting brand deals? And the question you should never, ever, 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 ever ask, is there anything out there for me? Your agent is tempted to say, yes, but I'm hiding it from you because I don't like you and I don't like to make money. So I'm not submitting you for anything. I'm hiding all the roles. If there was something out there for you, your agent is submitting you for it. But what you would ask is, how can I help you? That's what you want to ask them. Do you need a new reel? Should I get new headshots? What really works, send a short email and say, this is what I've been working on in class.
100%. I believe truly in picking a team that you trust. And if you don't trust them, then maybe it's time to look elsewhere. We're going to open up the floor. So we want to know, what are your questions? Today, we're going to answer them live. We're going to have an actual discussion with you, and we'll answer as many as we can in the time that we have. So go ahead, put up your hand. I will see who goes first, and we're going to answer your questions live.
Could you tell us again what are the responsibilities of an agent and what are the responsibilities of an actor? Because when I was new, I thought getting an agent would be my golden key into film and TV. I just have to get an agent, sit on my hands, and the lead roles would come on in.
So I can answer that question, Linda. So the responsibilities of the agent is to find auditions for you and submit you. So there are platforms that you use to get to find auditions. So the agent is on those platforms. If the agent is not on Breakdown Services, then they're not completely an agent. They are just partially able to help you. So you need to make sure that your agent is on all the services. And if they're not, then you're willing to grow with them. So you're willing to start with just one of the services, but Breakdown Services is the biggie. So you want your agent to be on Breakdown Services. That's the biggie. So the way it works is casting gets a script from production. They break down the script, they pick out the sides, and they do the breakdown for you so you know what the character's like. And then they put that over the different services. The agent gets that description and they decide which actors they want to submit. Now, naturally, they're going to want to submit the bookers. So if you're not booking, you might be on the list of people that they submit, but you might not be pushed. Agents can push certain actors. So that's what they're going to do for you. It's not their responsibility to tell you how to act or what to do in your career. It's their responsibility to get you those auditions. And then once you book them, if you have several happening on the same day or they have to do some juggling, that's their responsibility. It's also their responsibility to chase your money. Production will be slow on paying. Commercials are notoriously slow for paying. So commercials are very slow for paying. And it can feel like, well, my agent isn't paying me. But oftentimes the commercial hasn't paid. So they're waiting for the money. So it's their job to search for that money. They deal with the union, they deal with production, that kind of thing. So that's the expectation for the agent. For the actor, it's to keep yourself trained. It's to keep your headshots up to date. It's to go out and connect with filmmakers at different events. Your job is to become the best possible version of yourself, the most professional version of yourself as quickly as possible. In the world of self-tapes, you're going to have a blue screen or a blank wall so that you look like the main show. Because if you've got a bunch of stuff behind you, people are going to be looking at what's behind you. If you have a blue screen behind you, it's all about you. So it's your job to set yourself up professionally as well. That's what your job is, to do the best you can to be as professional as soon as possible. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah, I hope so.
Thumbs
I'm
up?
seeing a lot of thumbs up. Absolutely. Turn
Good.
right away. Start walking in the direction that you want to go, right? It is so, so important, you guys. And I agree with everything Casey just said there, 100%. And great question, Linda. Thank you for that. Jeff, you have your hand up. You are up next. Go for it. What's your question?
Yeah, hi. I usually send in audition tapes and I got a call back and they want me to come in and do a live audition, which I haven't done before, and it's going to be a cold read. So I've never done one of those before, so I'm pretty nervous about it, to be honest. So what can I expect? Do they give me because we're not going to get anything till we get there. So am I going to be expected to memorize the lines that quickly, or am I have to read straight from the page? Are they going to give me a few minutes to try to find the way to portray the character, or what?
Okay, so Jeff's question is about what do you do when you send in a self-tape and then you get an in-person audition, but it's cold. So a cold read is an actor's, bête noire. It's you always feel like, oh my God, this is going to be so hard. But there are some tricks that I can teach you right now that will help you so much. So this goes for everybody. The first thing you're going to do when you go in is say, thank you. I love this opportunity. That will make them feel good because a lot of people are going to go in and go, oh my God, cold reads are so hard. I'm going to do my best, but blah, blah, blah. So that is going to make them feel bad. So the first thing you're going to do is say, thanks for this opportunity. Can I take a minute to read over the sides? If they say yes, you take the minute, read over the sides, and make your choices really fast. But I'm going to teach you some choices that are going to work for anything you do. So you get the sides, you read over the sides, and you make this choice. Whoever the other character is, whatever happens, you're going to blame them or you're going to give to them. If I'm blaming you, then my whole tone will change. So what you're going to do is you're going to blame them or you're going to give to them. Or so that's blaming. And if I'm giving, what you're going to do is you're going to blame them or you're going to give to them. So you're just going to change your tone. And that's going to create a reaction for whoever you're reading with. They're going to react. And then you can just go moment to moment. So right away, make that choice. What am I doing, blaming or giving? Make sense?
Yes.
Don't worry about the construct. Don't worry about the given circumstances. Just do your best to make the best choice, either blaming or giving. If they say no, that you can't have that cold read, you can't have that moment to read, then they have given you an obstacle that they're going to be thinking, oh, he needed some time. I didn't give him some time. I feel bad. So they're going to be on your side. They're going to be like, okay, we've given him a really tough thing to do. He's been really good about it. So they're going to be on your side. You don't need to worry that they're going to be thinking badly of you. They're actually going to be on your side. So you ask for the time and then you make the choice. So if you don't get time to read, you make the same choices. And you know your character's name, you know the other characters. You just make those same choices and go through. And that'll get you through those really tough times of when you're doing cold reads. Now, some people, like I just see Brian here says, cold reads are so much fun. I really love them. Some people love cold reads. And Jeff, you might become one of them, especially now that you have this technique. But that's my best advice for you for that. And it's worked very well for actors that I've coached over the last 20 years or so.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I'm going to add a little bit to that, Jeff, if I may. So I always like actors to think of this as the things that are super scary and oh my goodness, I don't know what to do. The same way that you feel about that, so does every other actor. So this
Mhm.
is an opportunity for you to turn that into your superpower, right? So I would spend a little bit of time visualizing those. You don't know what it's going to be like when you go in the room, right? So sometimes actors go, well, how do I visualize that? How do I know? What you can do is you can visualize starting from the beginning of your day. So you visualize yourself getting up, smiling, having a cup of coffee, starting your day well. Visualize how you're going to walk into the room and greet them. Just like Casey said, you're going to walk into the room and you're going to say, thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm really happy to be here, whatever that is. So now your mind already knows this is what we do. So all of that's easy now. So that stresses off that part. Now you can just focus on that read, right? So take away as much of that kind of stress that most people will be. And they'll be a little frantic walking into the room and I don't know what to do. And I don't know, like, you'll have all of that down pat. And it doesn't take long, Jeff. When is your cold read, Jeff?
A week from Saturday.
You
Oh, you
got
got lots of time.
5 minutes a day. Spend 5 minutes a day visualizing a different part. You don't have to visualize the whole day. Visualize you waking up for 5 minutes. Visualize entering the room for 5 minutes. Visualize going through the script and making your choice. Spend that time there. It will make everything else so much easier.
There's also one more thing that I forgot. It's called the rule of thumb. And essentially, you put your, I have this magazine here. You put your thumb where your line is, and then just move it down, and it will move down to the next line. And it's just, you don't even have to look at it. So just move your thumb down and you'll do it. Practice that on cold reads at home.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, you'll get really good at it.
smart. I loved that. I loved it so much.
Great question.
Great question, Jeff. Thank you
Thank you
so.
for all your advice, and I will definitely use it.
You're so welcome, Jeff. And I can't wait to hear about it. Let us know
Me
how it
too.
goes.
Okay,
We
I
really,
will. I
really
definitely
want
will.
to know. Brian is asking, so I'm going to go to the questions and then I'm going to ask if we have any more live questions. I would love for you to put your hands up. So we want to hear
Yeah.
them. That's what this is all about, is you guys today, whatever questions, right? It could be about the work. It could be about the industry, whatever it is, this is your opportunity to ask. So don't let that opportunity pass you, because most people do. They sit passive. Take this chance. So Brian is asking, Donna, would you say reframing the nerves, anxiety as excitement will also help your mindset? Yeah, I almost would reframe it as calm, Brian, more than excitement. Knowing that you are completely capable, right? So, yes, excitement is great, but knowing that you are calm and capable, and I am the type of person who, when everyone else is freaking out, I take control. I would almost reframe it that way. But yes, absolutely, Brian, I would say that. Okay, Richard, you have your hand up. Go for it.
Well, I just thought I'd ask this question. It's a question I've asked many times, and I still haven't found a resolution for it or a simpler way to try and do it. I think my biggest problem is that when I go to learn my lines, I seem to learn the lines, but then when I go and do the scene, for some reason, I can't keep the lines in my head. I start concentrating on my presentation, how I'm supposed to look, how I'm supposed to feel the thing, and then I forget my words.
Yeah, I know exactly what you need to do. So you you need to use a formula we call the once upon a time formula. And essentially, your problem is that you are learning lines. So everyone hear me now. Don't learn lines. Do not ever learn lines, learn stories. And the way you learn stories is we're going to talk about this a little bit more at the end of this session, which is coming up soon. But you learn lines by learning the story. So once upon a time, there was this kind of person. Every day they did this kind of activity. So once upon a time, there was a coach. Every day she coached. One day she got a question about how to learn lines. Because of that, she explained the once upon a time story. So you look at the story. The story is about a certain person. There's an inciting incident and their behavior changes because of that incident. If you do that, dollars to donuts, you will remember your lines because the story is in you. The lines will make sense. He said this, so I said that. Because he said this, she said that. So because she said that and he said that, I said this. Because he slammed the table, I pulled back. Then you'll remember the lines. So I pulled back and said, oh my God, slam the table, pull back. Oh my God, everything's going to make sense because you look at every action and how it causes a reaction. So none of it is about learning lines. Never learn lines, always learn story. It takes a lot of time at first, but pretty soon you'll be excellent and you'll be unstoppable.
Yeah, Rebecca's saying the once upon a time will take practice, but it is so great. It's life-changing for all of our actors in Audition Plus. I'm going to add a little something to that, if I may, Casey, just in life in general. Um, People will go into these instances, as Jeff was saying, a cold read, or, as you're talking about forgetting your lines and get flustered and think like, oh my gosh, like, what am I wearing? What's my presence? How am I this? How am I that? Put the focus on someone else. And this is a really good thing to learn in life. If you focus on what you're trying to give as opposed to yourself, all of that self-consciousness will fade away. So what are you giving? I am giving this gift to these people who are going to watch this. You start to forget about how do I look? It's about the gift that I can give, right? So if in life you are anxious, you are stressed, go help someone. Go do something with
So
them.
true.
Okay? And I can only imagine the same with a scene, right? What can I give? How can I as Casey always says, how can I solve this problem for them? If you put your focus on that, it will make a huge, huge difference.
Huge difference. Yeah.
That was a wonderful question. Thank you, Richard. We have 3 hands up. I believe Tara was first, so I'm going to go to you, Tara. It doesn't tell me on Zoom. It tells me in Audition Plus who is first, and it may tell me here, but I don't know how.
We just don't know.
Can you hear me?
Tara,
Yeah.
I can hear you, Tara. Yes.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like I'm really switching gears with this question, but I I can cry when I want to, but for me it takes me a few minutes and I have to be very concentrated. And so for me it's really hard to cry while delivering lines and being focused on interacting with another person. So it's like it's like a skill I can only use if it's like the character is just on their own. You know what I mean? So I'm like, how can I broaden that skill?
You're I'm going to be blunt about this. You need to practice. You need to
Okay.
understand how emotions. I can't tell which Tara this is because I can't see your face.
Greco. I mean, my
Greco,
hair is
okay.
not it.
That's okay.
So Tara, what you need to do is practice layering emotions. So in Audition Plus, we have you. I have you go through a lot of emotions in the emotion part of the scene. So what you need to do is layer the emotion. You need to put the pain down underneath, way down underneath, whatever it is. And then over top of the pain, you put whatever the person is experiencing in the moment. And then the pain will shoot right up through that. But you've got to practice it because we all can cry. We can all make ourselves cry. But to do it in the moment, like you said, is really hard. So what you need to do is practice doing it in different given circumstances because it's very unnatural to be on set and have a bunch of people looking at you and have an experience with someone else that makes you cry and then repeat it over and over again. So what you have is an opening. So you're saying you're able to cry, but you need some time. That's okay. You can take that time to prep, but you need to practice to do it over and over again. And the other thing is story. It's got to be a part of the story. If you're pulling those tears from your own experience, or you're pulling it, you're forcing or making yourself cry rather than being in the experience of the story, it's never going to be truthful. It's just what it's going to be is selfish. And we don't want to see that. You know, when you watch somebody cry on screen, you're like, oh, would you just shut up? You don't like them, but when they're trying not to cry, when it just happens, when it bursts out of them, then you're in with them.
Yeah.
That helps. But it means you got to work, you got to practice.
And I'm going to just add to that, Tara, when Casey says practice, she means just that. And
Yeah.
that doesn't mean, an hour once a week. That means every day for 5 or 10 minutes, right? Schedule that into your day. You're in Audition Plus, so as you know, she's created a 12-week schedule, or a 12-week? Yes.
Yeah, it's 12 weeks.
Daily
Yeah.
12-week schedule. So there's a schedule every single day that tells you what to practice that's going to move you forward. And you practice your emotional connection. It may be first thing in the morning, it may be at night, whenever works for you, but you add that in, right? It's really, really important. Now, I know for those in Audition Plus, Casey is going through, who filled out the form, is going through and creating individual schedules for you for what that looks like. She's going through that now. But you can only lead a horse to water. You cannot make them drink, right? So
You can if you starve them and make them very thirsty, and what I want to say is you're not going to get the kind of work you want. Consider yourself starving, and thirsty.
Yeah. And make it happen, right? That's when you talk about responsibilities, that's your part. We're not in your house with you, so we can't force you to do it. But schedule that in. It will make such a huge difference. Okay. Awesome question, Tara. I love that.
Very good.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Amy. We are going next to you. And then I see Christopher, you have your hand up.
Hi. Yes. Thank you for hosting this today.
It's a pleasure.
I don't know if you remember, but we actually had a one-on-one meeting probably like 2 years ago.
Ages ago, yeah.
I'm an American who was trying to get out, and I actually did, and I'm here in Vancouver. Thank you. And I'm seeking some advice.
Oh, okay.
So I've been submitting to agents for the past 6 weeks, and I've been getting a lot of no's due to conflicts on the rosters. But I have taken a couple meetings with agents, and they've told me that it will be really hard to get me TV and film auditions as a non-union actor. This is very new news to me as an American actor, as that's not the case there. What has your experience been with this, with your actors, and how do you break through that barrier, aside from joining the union, of course?
Great question.
Yeah. So you're an American though?
Yes.
And are you represented in the US?
Commercially.
Okay. And are they submitting you from the US for commercials? Are they submitting you at all?
Barely.
Okay. So there are a number of things going on. You can legally work in Canada?
Yes.
Okay. So you're in a conundrum. What the agents are saying is true. It is hard to get auditions as a non-union actor, especially right now, because we've been through so much and there's been hardly any work. So the union is giving the opportunities to the union actors. However, you still get those opportunities. They're just fewer. And that's how it's always been. And that's how it is in the US as well. The US has a I want to discover somebody aspect. But in Canada, because we are service providers to American projects, and you sound American, so that's a really good thing. So we're service providers to American projects. There's only so many opportunities for Canadian actors to get an audition on those shows. So, and some of those opportunities are not even real. So you might be a union actor, get an audition for a lead role on this union show, and it was never real. It just has to do with the deal that the US and Canada has about seeing so many Canadians for a show, but they never intend to hire them ever. And if they do, then that Canadian should get themselves a US agent so that they can get a US deal, because the Canadian deals are terrible for leads. However, for you, what you need to do is make yourself indisposable, make yourself the very best possible actor you can be. So that means as a non-union actor, you need to get as many credits as you can. There are a lot of verticals, so you can start auditioning for and booking verticals so you get something on your reel. The 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 best possible thing you can do is put together a reel that is undeniable. That if somebody looked at that reel, they would say, this woman is going to get an Oscar and I am going to represent her. And if you're not willing to put the work in to do that, then you're probably not going to get an agent who's going to represent somebody like that. You're going to get a lesser agent who just wants somebody that, you know, who wants to be able to submit you, and you will book commercials and, you know, they'll get commish off that. But if you want, you're competing with Canadians who have a lot of barriers against them to get into US projects that are shooting in Canada. So that's one thing. You can do it though. You can absolutely do it. So don't worry about it, but you've got to get your reel and your materials to be so good that they can't say no.
That was actually going to be my question, Casey, and I've actually lost you on here. I'm not sure where you went, but I can't see you
You
on
want to
my
wave, Amy? You're
anymore. Yeah, or speak, Amy, so that you'll.
I'm here. Hi.
There we go. So hopefully you'll pop back up. My question was going to be, what is, not what's on your reel, but how long is it? What are you sending out when you're sending out or applying to these agencies? What does that look like, kind of a little bit more specifically, so we can understand a little bit more? Because it needs to be your absolute best work. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about that.
Sure. My theatrical reel right now is about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I have an opening clip of me on my first network role, which was Chicago PD. And then after that, it's all indie stuff that I've done. So I have a dramatic clip from a dystopian zombie film, but it's actually pretty good quality footage. I have a sci-fi clip. I have a dramatic period piece clip.
There's too much on your reel.
Okay.
Yeah, shrink it down, 3 30-second scenes that are just you.
Yeah.
The best
Okay.
version of you. Yeah.
And then when it comes to when you're emailing these agents, what are you saying? What does that look like? How long is it?
I introduce myself. I connect with them on a very human level from research that I've done on them. And then I tell them 3 or 4 bullet points of recent career highlights. And then ask if they think, I forget how I'm saying it right now, but basically ask for representation and if we could have a meeting.
It doesn't sound bad. That sounds pretty good. I would keep it as short as possible, so under half a page. Say that you're legally able to work.
I do have that in there.
That's good. That sounds good. Your headshots, your reel. I haven't seen your headshots. I haven't seen your reel, so it's hard to say. But I would say tighten up your reel. You're coming in at a tough time. After all, it's a tough time everywhere after all the strikes and stuff. But yeah, you're coming in at a tough time. And I think the best thing is to tighten up your reel and to look and see if you can make your reel more outstanding. And if you can, so one of the things we advocate is to do a self-tape reel that shows you the best possible work that you could do and take a month to make it. Like, so get really, really good work.
Yeah, because agents want to see that, you know what, they can send you out, you're going to book, and you're going to make them money.
Yeah,
right?
and make sure it's geared to what's shooting in Vancouver. So, because you're in Vancouver, right? So you want to look at the projects that are shooting and make sure that it's Chicago to PD will work because we have a few kind of shows like that in Vancouver, but make sure that everything says I'm bookable in this town.
In this industry. Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. Thank you so much for that,
Thank you
Amy.
so much.
You're welcome. I'm gonna go to Christopher and then Brian, and then I'm gonna cut the questions there because we have a few other things we want to tell you, and we've already gone over. So go ahead, Christopher.
So my question is that as I'm a new actor and I don't currently have any film credits on my resume. And so I saw that on the actor 101, I saw that one of the things we should all have is IMDb. But I'm like, should I really have that since I don't have any film credits to add or anything to add on there?
It's not really necessary until you need it. If you want to have it, you can start your IMDb, put your headshot on there, that kind of thing. It's an expense that you don't need to incur right now, but you can. And as Kara's saying, you can put student films on IMDb if you like. But it's not necessary. It's not necessary. However, if you're a producer or a director and you're looking up an actor, you're going to look on IMDb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great question, Christopher.
Yeah.
That was a really good question. Thank you for that. Brian, we are running to you. Go for it.
There we are. Lower hand. Okay. So I think this is a question that comes into my mind quite often when I hear people talking, especially new actors, new people coming into the industry, but also people who've been established, people are there. How does one balance that drive, that desire, that passion to do this, to be a star, to be all of, to chase your dreams with the patience, the reality, the acknowledgement that things don't always happen in the timeline that you want them to, that things are outside of your control. And how do you stay focused on kind of keeping on top of what you're supposed to be doing and really what the focus should be, which I think, in listening to what you guys talk about, is really about get good. Focus on getting good. When you get good, those opportunities will find you. And if you're not worrying about getting good, you're not going to be ready when the opportunities come anyways. So how do you balance those two things? Staying focused, staying energized, staying passionate on what you want to do, but also being able to be patient and allowing those things to come to you in their time. Thank you.
You want to take that, Donna-Marie? I have some thoughts about it too, but
Yeah, I can absolutely start. So belief, Brian, belief is the number one thing. And how do you do that? You make that a daily practice. You make that part of your life. So the same way that you practice your acting skills and you get so darn good they can't say no, you practice that belief too. Right? You understand the bridge of incidents. You understand that just because I didn't book this one might be, opening me up for that wonderful thing that's going to change my life. Sometimes that the universe slingshots you back, you get a big negative to just, yeah, push you right forward. But that has to be a daily thing, because what people do most of the time is just go, no, no, I'm positive. This is good. It's fine. It's going to work out. That's not a belief system. Telling yourself that every now and then, it doesn't work. So that has to be as much of a daily practice as your acting is. But you be so darn good, they can't say no. I tell a story in Luminary, which is a course that we teach, as you know, Brian. And it's something that my dad used to say to me. And it's, you know what? You're going to come up against all sorts of obstacles in life, right? It doesn't matter what you decide to do, whether you want to be an actor or a sniper or whatever, it really doesn't matter. You're going to come across obstacles. And you be so darn good they can't say no. So he used to say to me, Donna-Marie, if they say to you that, you know what, you can't join the swim team because we only take people with webbed feet on the swim team because webbed feet people they're the best swimmers. Everybody knows that webbed feet people can swim better than everybody else. You be so darn good, they can't say no. You get up earlier, you work harder, you do everything that nobody else is willing to do, and then you believe. You spend that time believing, right? And then everybody else will too. So you be so darn good that they can't say no. So that means your acting practice, that means your belief. That means spending time visualizing what my life looks like because your subconscious mind will take steps towards that. It will guide you, right? Your RAS, your reticular activation system will kick in. It will find you opportunities, but it has to be as much of a practice as is your acting. So that's why we focus on that so much in Audition Plus. So that's what I would say, Casey.
And I would say I don't believe in balance. So, and I don't believe in patience. So just because you're not booking doesn't mean that you should stop working towards it.
Yeah.
So people say this career is hard and there aren't that many opportunities, and these things might be true. If you are impatient, so if you look at impatience as a virtue and you say, okay, I'm not waiting around for anyone. I'm going to practice like I am already there, very much like what Donna-Marie's saying. So practicing like you're already there means get up and do exactly what a lead would do. So a lead is going to get up in the morning, get up, work out. If they're that kind of a person, they're going to get up, work out, which is very much what leads do. They're going to eat well. They're going to, I sound like your mom, but that's what they're going to do. And then before 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, they're reading their scripts.
Mm-hmm.
They're reading full scripts. They're learning their work for the day.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine if you treated your career like that. Imagine if you had no patience with yourself and you said, okay, this morning I'm getting up, I'm doing the work, and after that, I'm going to go do my day job if I have to do a day job, that kind of thing. Imagine if you built your skills around the things that you are most likely to be cast for. So say you're most likely to be cast as a dad, then you're practicing the dad roles. You're most likely to be to be cast as a cop, you're practicing the cop roles. You're practicing the things that are going to lead you to the career you want. It's very practical. And do not think that you have to be patient. It's annoying to me that people say that all the time.
Yeah,
You don't annoy me, Brian, at all. It's a valid question, but it's annoying to me that people think they have to wait and be patient. Don't.
Yeah. I completely agree, Casey. And I think we said the exact same thing in different ways. And I love that.
Yeah. But very practically do the work.
Yeah.
I think by patient, I mean unrealistic expectations on the timeline that things are going to happen for them.
Yeah, I still don't buy into that.
Buy into that? Right.
No, absolutely not. I don't think about timelines. I think about things that I can do.
Yeah. And what's the next step?
Yeah. The next step and the next step and the next step.
As far as realistic, throw that out the window. Yeah. That's what I believe. That's what we've seen with some. Well, look at Carlos. There was nothing realistic about that. Nothing realistic about that. He was an architect from Mexico. He came and worked with us, and in his first paid gig, his first real role, he's just walked the Oscars, just walked the red carpet at the Oscars for an Oscar-winning movie. Nothing realistic.
A lead role in an Oscar-winning movie.
Yeah.
Just it's like Carlos said, and this is what we wanted to talk to you about. The once upon a time structure helps you think about how you view your own life. So once upon a time, there was this kind of person. Every day they did this.
Mm-hmm.
Every day they practiced for the dream that they wanted.
Mhm.
One day the opportunity came and they were ready. Because
Yeah.
of that, they went to that audition and they kicked ass and took names.
Yeah,
That's what we want to
absolutely.
do.
So listen, guys, we hold these Q&A sessions live every single Thursday with the actors inside our Audition Plus course so that they can come, they can ask their career questions, right? They can ask their acting questions and they don't have to make those same mistakes that most actors make because they aren't doing this alone. They have a team. So now for a little secret.
So what I was just saying about Carlos is he didn't ask who am I and list his credits because he didn't have any. He didn't have any. He answered like the actor he wanted to become. So the question is, who am I? I'm an Oscar-winning actor. I'm an Oscar-winning actor. Well, what is he going to do every day if he's an Oscar-winning actor? So who are you? You're a successful actor, not who you've been, not your history, not, all the problems you've had in your life, but who you are now and who you're becoming. And be honest about where you are now, because at your current level, you may not be able to book those roles, but don't stay at your current level. Work towards the next level. Define the action that's going to change things for you. And then think about how you're going to feel when you do it. Because just like we said in the beginning to Jeff, go in there and say thank you so you feel good. People respond to the vibe that you're putting out, for lack of a better word.
Oh, 100% Casey.
Yeah, when you create that, when you put that out for people, they feel that they want to be around you. So essentially, you're speaking your future into reality. And this isn't fluff. This isn't BS. This is just you rewiring yourself so people respond to you as somebody who book roles. And this is exactly what Carlos said. He started doing the Once Upon a Time, and this is a very smart man. He was an architect. He speaks several languages. He said, this is it. This is what I need. Tell my own story. He booked Conclave. He went to the Oscars. And this is the truth. Most actors don't succeed because they are asking the wrong questions. They're saying, why am I not booking? When they should be saying, what are the top 4 choices that would make me instantly more castable? What am I most likely to play? They ask us questions like this. This has happened more than once, like so many more times than once that it is laughable. Should I pay $10,000 to go do a casting director showcase in the US, in LA? No, no, you should not. You should never, never do that. No. The question they should be asking is, what specific skills are going to help me book? Because you don't need to spend $1 billion going to see a casting director who is never going to hire you. You don't need random tips. You need better questions. You need targeted coaching that actually moves your career forward. And this is why we built Audition Plus.
Yeah, 100%. And it's not just another acting class, right? It's a results-driven system for booking roles. So Casey coaches your audition technique using proven tools that land leads, right? That's why we have so many actors who are leads. I help you rewire your mindset and visualization skills so that you can actually believe that you can do this. And then you get weekly feedback, work geared to help you book industry strategies. As I said, every week we meet just like this, but obviously a smaller group, more intimate. And yes, we train you to ask the right darn questions. So 80% of our actors get agents, get callbacks, get pins, bookings, not because they're lucky, because they've stopped guessing. So if you're ready to go to why isn't this working into I booked it, then it's time for you to join Audition Plus. I'm going to pop that link in for you right now in the chat. And if you would like to join us, if you're interested, if you want to book, then go ahead and copy and paste it now. And then I think, Casey, we're going to have to say that's a wrap for us. What do you think?
I think so. I think that's a wrap for us. The one thing I would like to add to what you just said, Donna-Marie, is do it, says Tim. Tim just joined us. Tim's a booker. Tim is booking and he's doing the work. And the last thing I would like to leave you with, in addition to what Donna-Marie said, is you've got to do the work outside of class. So it's not enough just to do the work in class. You've got to create the world of a working actor. It's got to be in your life every day.
Absolutely. Absolutely, you do. Everyone is saying thank you. Thank you, ladies. This is so informative. You're so welcome. I'm going to pop the link in for you one more time. If you want it, you got about 5 seconds to copy and paste, because we are going to say that's a wrap. It is such a pleasure to be here with you all. You are all so welcome. I know we went over today, so it's wonderful that you were all able to stay. We really, really appreciate it. Christopher says, thank you. I needed to hear this.
Welcome.
Christopher, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. That's what we're here for. That's our jam, helping actors book, right? So it's a pleasure. And I think I'll say, Casey, that's a wrap for us.
We'll see you on screen.